Modern Warfare 3 zombies can be very tricky without having good loot to upgrade your weapons, and there are lots of ways to earn powerful ether tools or pack-a-punch crystals in the game, but these often involve difficult tasks such as going into the dark ether, which can be quite off-putting, quite difficult for some people, especially if you're newer to the game. However, there is a guaranteed way to get at least 3 legendary ether tools and 3 flawless Aetherium crystals, i.e. 3 instant level 3 pack-a-punch crystals in Modern Warfare 3 zombies easily, which I feel many people are kind of not aware of, and so today I'll show you how to do that easily. It's a guaranteed way of getting this good loot, so you're definitely going to want to check it out if you haven't already. And if you find this video useful, make sure to drop a like so that other people can find it too, and feel free to check out my other Season 5 guides like how to level up weapons fast and battle pass tokens, other zombies guides, that kind of thing. Before we carry on with the video, if you're looking to permanently unlock the new Modern Warfare 3 mastery camos, or play in bot lobbies to max out your guns and unlock camos quickly, or get your hands on an instant delivery pre-made account, then be sure to check out MitchCactus.com. These guys are the biggest and most reliable sellers with tons of offerings for Modern Warfare 3 with completely safe and legitimate services on all platforms. So far they've almost 10,000 reviews on Trustpilot, so if any of that sounds good to you guys, then make sure to use code RAGER for 5% off for a limited time only. Check out the link in the description. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Now this method of getting the guaranteed legendary and ultra loot involves heading into the tier 3 or high threat zone in zombies. However, it's extremely possible to do it solo, or even if you're not very experienced at playing zombies, you've got a very good chance of getting this as well. It's not difficult, you can do it easily. What I would say, however, if you're doing this method we're going to talk about today to get this loot, or if you're going into the tier 3 zone in general, either for fun or grinding contracts to get schematics, anything like that, you're going to want to watch my recent guide with all the unpatched safe areas which allow you to hide and take cover without dying in the tier 3 zone. So go and check it out. It is updated for season 5 as some of the areas have been patched. I'll have a card on screen and a link in the description. Alright, so what you want to do first of all is you want to put on a class. I'll explain quickly what you want to put on your class, and then we'll talk about what you need to do to actually get this loot. So it's up to you what you put on your class, but I recommend putting on obviously a good weapon. Feel free to check out my recent top 10 loadouts guide if you want any good weapons and some good attachments for them. I'd also recommend putting on a pack-a-punch crystal if you've got one. It's ideal to save time, but it's not essential. You also want a good rarity ether tool, so for example at least a rare or ideally epic ether tool is ideal, but again it's not essential. Ideally you also want to put a couple of perks on in the class if you have them. For the field upgrade I'd recommend either putting on Ether Shroud or otherwise the Energy Mine. For the equipment you want to put on a throwing knife for the lethal. It's good at taking out tier 3 zombies and hellhounds, and also for the tactical you want to put on decoy grenades just so that you can distract them. So that's the class. Again, not essential, but it will help make things easier. And then once you spawn into zombies, here's what you want to do. For the setup, this part is not essential, but again it makes life easier when in the tier 3 or high threat zone. The first thing you want to do is you need to earn some money by doing contracts. Now I'd recommend doing at least tier 2 contracts if you can, but if you're starting with basic loot it might need to be tier 1 just until you get a bit of money and can pack a punch your weapon and so on. But ideally try and do tier 2 contracts as you get better gear and you get more money in XP too. So I'd recommend going through some of the easier or quick contracts to earn cash and rewards fast. So for example my favourite contracts to do are the bounty contracts and the deliver cargo contracts. These contracts, especially the tier 2 contracts, are likely to get you some good loot in the meantime, such as more perks, maybe some Aetherium crystals, a better ether tool perhaps, and you also want to be getting a few self-revive kits as well. And while you're grinding these contracts you need to get a decent pot of cash on you to buy the following things if you don't already have them. You ideally need a pack-a-punch level 3 weapon. You also ideally need some of the basic perks like we said, Juggernog, quick revive as well, speed cola, stamina up is a must so you can sprint faster as the tier 3 zombies are quite fast, and then maybe another one like PhD flopper as well. You ideally need, I would say, at least 2 to 3 self-revive kits depending on how good you are, and you want to have a good amount of armor plates, and ideally you probably need a large backpack and a 3-slot armor vest as well if you can. So once you have most or all of the items we've just mentioned, or if you've just got enough money to buy the things you need in the high threat zone, you need to head to the tier 3 zone. Now to get to the tier 3 zone you can either do this by car, jumping off of a tall building and parachuting in, or using the teleport system. Now you want to make a note of where the pack-a-punch machine is on the map if you need to upgrade your weapon to level 3 pack-a-punch, and to get this guaranteed valuable loot, you know, the legendary ether tool and the flawless crystal, we need to complete a triangle symbol challenge / mission in the tier 3 zone. Now there's only 3 of these triangle missions in the tier 3 zone which occur in the same 3 locations every single time, and they're identical in how you complete them, where you find them and so on, and I'll explain how you do that shortly. Just as a note though, only solo players or a player and their teammates can do a triangle mission and get loot from it, so other nearby players, if they're not part of the group, they can't be involved and therefore they can't get the loot from this mission if they're not on the team. Also you can only activate one of the 3 triangle challenges at any one time, and you can't activate all 3 in one go as you could previously. They've changed that now. After one of the triangle challenges has been completed, no other player or team can repeat that specific challenge to get rewards from it. So it's basically a first come first serve basis. There's 3 triangle challenges and 3 only, 1 in each of the locations, and basically basically, the locations of these 3 triangle missions are as follows. There's one near the Opal Palace Square, there's also one in the town road basically below the Opal Palace, and there's a third one near the Old Town Square as well. To complete a triangle mission, you need to do the following steps. You first need to activate 3 stones with symbols on them. The colour will change from purple at first to gold when you shoot them. You then need to move to a specific location so that the markings on nearby walls or floor appear to make a joined up triangle from the perspective you're standing in. Once you've done this, a glowing orb will appear and the triangle outline will change colour, and now zombies nearby to it will be glowing pink. You can obviously now move around, and each time you kill a glowing pink zombie, the orb will capture its soul, and after you kill a certain amount of zombies, the challenge will be complete. A reward rift will spawn as if you'd done a contract, and if you open that, it will give you 2000 essence as well as a legendary ether tool, an orange one basically, and also a flawless or level 3 pack-a-punch AETHERIUM crystal. So very, very handy indeed. Like I said, once you've done it for one of them, you can then repeat it for the other 2 triangle missions as well. So where do you actually find these triangle missions in the tier 3 zone? You can do them in any order, it doesn't matter, but the first one is at the Opal Palace. So the first symbol is on the wall of the building on a sloped road leading away from the Opal Palace Square. The second symbol you will find is on the wall ruins just outside the Opal Palace Square, and then the third symbol you'll find on the opposite wall on the edge of the Opal Palace Square. All these 3 symbols are on the outside of a small triangle on the floor, one at each corner of that triangle. Now, once you've done that, there will then be a large triangle outline on certain walls or items near you, and you basically need to move, like I said, to match it up to make it look like a full triangle. So to get this triangle to match up and start the challenge for the Opal Palace, you need to jump up onto the wall of the third symbol that we've just talked about, and then hop across over the break in the wall, and you'll see like a little corner of a triangle on the floor of that wall. You want to move until the triangle corner on the wall lines up with the building opposite, and once you have done, like I say, it will change colour and the orb will appear, and you can now kill these glowing pink zombies until the challenge is complete. The next triangle mission is in the town just below the Opal Palace, so really close to the one we've just done, and the first symbol you'll find on the wall of the building connected to kind of like the perimeter of the Opal Palace Square. You'll then have the second symbol on the wall of the house on the corner of the road by the bridge, and the third symbol you will find on the rooftop wall of the building opposite the first symbol we've talked about. Now, to get the triangle to match up and start the challenge, you need to head to the building behind the second symbol on the other side of the road, and you need to climb up the ladder to the top of that building. Once you're on that rooftop, you need to move until the triangle corner on the rooftop floor lines up with the buildings opposite, and once again the orb will appear, the triangle will change colour, and the zombies will glow pink, indicating you can start the challenge. The third and final triangle mission location is in the Old Town Square. So the first symbol will be on the wall of the building to the right of the bridge, the second symbol will then be on the low wall immediately kind of adjacent to the bridge, and the third symbol will be on the arch wall behind you in the centre of the Old Town Square. And to get the triangle to match up and start the challenge, you need to head to the other side of the Old Town Square and hop across onto the walkway above the arches near to the Nar bathhouse. You want to move until the triangle corner on the wall opposite lines up with the walls and buildings behind it, and once you do, you'll see again a triangle that changes colour of the outline, and an orb will appear, and these glowing pink zombies will appear too. So hopefully you and or your team can complete all these 3 triangle missions, as long as no one has activated them already. Once you have your gear, I'd recommend getting to an Excel site and leaving the map as soon as possible to save your new loot, and that is basically how to get the guaranteed legendary ether tools and flawless AETHERIUM crystals, up to 3 of each in every single zombies match, to fill up your stash really quickly with great loot so you can easily upgrade your weapons and basically dominate the tier 3 zone as well as the dark ether in Modern Warfare 3. So I hope you guys found this helpful. If you did, be sure to drop a like on the video and check on my other season 5 guides, like how to level up weapons fast, how to level up the battle pass, zombies guides, DLC weapon unlock videos, that kind of thing. And like I said, if you are struggling with this, then you can use my other guide I made recently showing you all the safe areas in the tier 3 zone in zombies to know where's safe, to take a breather every now and then, and so you're not likely to die. So I recommend checking it out if you haven't already. Finally, make sure to subscribe to stay up to date with all my latest Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone videos. But thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you all on the next video.